Hello, this is our snow class for pre-calc, and we are, it's Thursday and I'm taping here at around 5 of noon. I said this would be up by noon today. It's going to be a little later than that. So, hope you all are comfy. I'm teaching here in my oversized warm winter sweater with socks, heavy socks, and a cup of tea in the kitchen here. It's a really nice way to teach. I hope that you are comfortable where you are, so make yourself comfortable. You do have to take notes to get credit for this video, and we'll pick it up now and try to finish quickly. How about that? So hope you're having a good day, whichever day you're watching this. All right, I'll pick it up here. I put on the board here some classwork that we had began on Wednesday, and it seems like some of you have gotten part way through. Do you remember this classwork? This first 10 were no calculator, and the last 2 were no calculator. In other words, calculator. So what I'd like you to do is find that work. If you don't have it with you and you're taking notes on another piece of paper, just start over. And I would like you to recall what we did on Wednesday. And by way of reminder, number 1 is looking for the angle that has this as its sine. That's what the word arc sine is asking you to do. So you look at your unit circle. If you don't have it with you, you can recreate one quickly. And look around at all the points on the unit circle, and you're looking for one, and you're only allowed to look for arc sine in the first and the fourth quadrant, and you're looking for one where the second coordinate is -1. So where should you look for that to be true? And you'll see that happens at 3 pi over 2. And that is the answer to number 1. So here they're asking, where do you find an angle that has a sine of -1/2? We're only allowed to look in the first and the fourth. It turns out that the negative ones end up in the fourth for a sine, and the positive ones end up in the first. So we're looking in the fourth quadrant for a second coordinate of -1/2. And you'll see that it exists at 11 pi over 6. So, in like manner, turn off the video, write these down, pause the video, write these down, and do them. And I'm going to write them up, the answers, all the answers up. So when you're ready, you can turn it back on and see what the answers are. All right, hopefully you've turned the video back on and you've seen the answers. Remember the arc sine, you can only look in the first and the fourth quadrant, but arc cosine, you may only look in the first and the second quadrant. And here I'll circle all the answers. So hopefully you can find them. Are they all showing up? Hopefully. And I'll clarify them. These last two, you just use the arc sign, the sine inverse button above the sine function, and you should get these answers by calculator. All right, I just wanted to tie up that loose end, and I'm going to erase this now and teach you something new. All right, if any of those didn't come out, we can wrestle them out together when we have class. All right, quadrant 1 and quadrant 4 is where we look for both the arc sine, which is sine inverse as well, and the arc tangent. Only arc cosine is different, and you can look in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So keep that in mind as we look at these other trig functions. The trig functions, sine of an angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of an angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. All right, both these boxes up here will serve us well in today's lesson, so I'll put them up there so we can grab it quickly. I'm going to do 5 examples, and then I'm going to give you 5 to do, and that's my plan for today. So, number 1, write it down, and write down how I get the answer. I'm training you to do your own. All right. I was wondering, and I'm sure you were as well, how to combine these arc and inverse functions with regular trig functions. So here I'm asking you to find the tangent of the arc cosine of 2/3. And this is a lot easier than it sounds, so relax. All right. We're going to start in the inner sanctum. You know, we always go inside the parentheses to begin, so that's where we're going to start. We know the arc cosine is to be found in quadrant 1 or 2. So it turns out that all the negative ones are in quadrant 2 and all the positive ones are in quadrant 1. So if you look at your unit circle, you'll see that all the first coordinates, which are the cosines, are positive in quadrant 1. Negative in quadrant 2. So this is a positive value, so we're going to look in quadrant 1. So I'm actually going to draw a triangle in the first quadrant. I draw the triangle, the hypotenuse pops out from the origin, and the side of the triangle will connect with the x-axis. That's my triangle in quadrant 1. And this is not found on the unit circle. Nowhere do we see a first coordinate of 2/3. So I know it's in the first quadrant, so I'm just going to draw a triangle and assign the values to it. So this, according to cosine, this is side adjacent, and this is side hypotenuse. So adjacent is going to, here's my angle, so right next door, adjacent is 2, hypotenuse is 3. I have an unknown side that I have to fill in, and I use Pythag to do that. Remember, the hypotenuse is by itself. 2 squared plus the unknown side, I'll call it s squared, equals 3 squared. And when you solve that, s turns out to be the square root of 5. So s is the square root of 5, so I can put it right there. Now I come back to my problem. I don't really know this angle, but the problem doesn't ask me to stop at what angle has this as a cosine. It just asks me to look at that situation and take the tangent of it. So here's the situation. Even though I don't know the angle, I can proceed and take the tangent of this angle, this triangle that is present. And the tangent is opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 5, adjacent is 2, and that is the answer. Notice how I was able to get to it without even finding the exact angle, only drawing the scenario that it suggests. So, observe that and copy it down. If I ever go too fast, just pause, catch up, and resume. All right. I'll put number 2 up and then I'll turn off the camera so I'm not going over my time limit, and I'll open the camera again. All right. Number 2 is cosine of the arc sine of -3/5. So write that down and I'll jump in and do another example. Uh-oh. No, it says low battery, so I'm going to have to deal with that. So I'll be back in a few.